Hey bee fans, this is a quick video about queen excluders. So I was asked about queen excluders this morning with regards to how my hive works with the queen excluder. Well, my hives don't use queen excluders. First I'll cover why beekeepers use queen excluders and how they work, and then how my hives work. So the queen excluder is such that a normal bee can fit through the little gap, but a queen bee can't because she's a little bit bigger than a normal worker bee. So what beekeepers do is, in the springtime, they'll put an empty box on top of the brood chamber, and what happens is that puts the hive into a state of shock, life and death panic basically, because they have to fill that space because warm air rises, and because warm air rises, that's where they need to overwinter. So beekeepers put an empty box on top of frames. The bees are put into a state of shock. They then have to fill that space, but the queen also wants to, once they start building comb, wants to actually put brood in there. But beekeepers want honey. They don't want honey with brood or dark wax. They want nice clean wax. So between the brood box and the next box they put a queen excluder, and that way they can then get high honey yields with no brood. So that's one way of getting honey out of a beehive. My system uses two other systems, and basically what they are and how they work is in a tree stump, in the main compartment, the bees will make brood and they'll have honey for winter, and what they'll then do is in summer they'll move down and make brood, and in winter they'll move up. But if the weather's inclement and they can't swarm, what they'll do is, in all the nooks and crannies, they will then store honey. That honey won't be used during winter. There's a couple of quirks that bees have, in that they won't actually retrieve honey inside their nest space, regardless of how bad things get. And because of that peculiarity, we can then harvest honey that they won't use during winter, and you can take it all because they won't. The next time that they'll use it is if they, for whatever reason, need it in spring, but more often than not it's not used. So it's literally guilt-free honey. That's the one system that we use. So again, because it's not part of the main compartment, the queen will walk around in there, but she won't actually lay in there. So we don't need a queen excluder. The other system that we use is the small super that goes on the side of the hive. That's got a big opening into the brood chamber area. However, again, because of its location, it's got a peculiarity in that bees won't recognize that space straight away, and normally when they move into a hive, it takes them 3 months to fill that whole space. If you put one of those small supers on, because of its location and volume ratio to the main hive, it'll take them 3 months to fill that small little space. And again, because of its location and because of certain quirks, you don't need a queen excluder. Even though it's in the main compartment, you don't need a queen excluder because the queen won't actually lay in there. And again, you can take all that honey, because when they go into their winter state and they start eating up, they will actually bypass that, and they won't come back down and retrieve that in winter if they do start running out. So that was basically why gardeners' beehives or eco beehives don't actually need queen excluders, because we use totally different systems and far more bee friendly, bee centered systems of beekeeping. Cheers.